Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to lecture number 45. So last time, what did we cover? We have two types of a diode rectifier. We have the center tap or bridge rectifier. We have center tap or we have bridge. The center tap, if I apply an input voltage here, let's say I apply 110 RMS, which implies 110 square root of 2 peak, صح؟ يعني هذه القيمة 110 square root of 2. You agree with me? You agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the voltage Vs? What is Vs? Vs is 110 over 2 square root of 2 V peak, صح؟ صح؟
Yes.
Half of it. Let's say ratio here is 1, A is 1. What if A is 10? You divide by 10. Clear? So I'm going to say it's 1 for simplicity. Then diode on is on, it will conduct. So what is the output voltage here? 110 over 2 square root of 2 V peak. صح البيك هذا.
Yes.
The negative cycles, this will conduct, and it will V output equal minus Vs. So it will be rectified. The DC signal is 0.6366 of Vmax. What is Vmax? Vmax is 110 square root of 2, which is Vm. Assuming the ratio is 1. Clear? No. Vm, this is not Vm, this is 2Vm. This is Vm. This is not Vm. Vm hat. So the voltage across the diode is minus 2 Vm with DC component is 0.636 times Vm. So it's going to be 0.6366 times 110 over 2 times square root of 2 peak. Times square root of 2. Okay? That's the DC value, which is 0.6 Vm. The other type is a full bridge. What did I tell you? Is during the positive cycle, D1 conduct. During the negative cycle, D2, no, not that. During the negative cycle, D3 and D4. Okay? Then we talked about a thyristor. What is a thyristor?
Diode with the gate.
Diode with a gate. So it will not rectify until the pulse is sent. If I send the pulse, I start rectification. And then it will, once it turns off, it will remain off until I send the other pulse. So the negative cycle will be rectified. What will happen if I remove? What will happen if I remove? What will happen if I remove this? The output will be?
Zero.
No, I keep this.
Oh.
only the negative half cycle rectified, chopped. Yeah. So if there is no pulse, no rectification. No pulse, no rectification. Triac is same as the thyristor. However, it only allows the current to flow in one direction. Okay? In two directions. It means if I apply positive gate, the upper diode will conduct, so the positive cycle, once I send the pulse, it will be passed through, but the negative cycle, it will not be rectified, because it will allow the current to go.
ممكن تصمت أكثر.
During the negative cycle, it will pass through after alpha time. Alpha radians pass through, but it will not be rectified. But this is AC to AC. We still keep the AC. The only thing is we change the power. We change the power of the signal. We change the power. Not the full sinusoid that is taken, only chopped, and the other part is chopped. هذا في triac. Triac, key important information about triac is it's what? Bidirectional. The current flow this way and this way. And it will not block in negative. Okay? Then we have the DC converters. A DC converter, I apply 1 volt at the gate, then I get the supply voltage appearing on the load, depending on the duty cycle. If I increase the duty cycle from T1 all the way to T, then this will be always 1. So V output will be 1 Vs. The duty cycle will control the DC component. Here it's halfway. Clear? So what is delta? Duty cycle. What is a duty cycle? Half of the time there is a pulse at the gate. Then this is a DC to DC. I get DC here. My output DC will be smaller, depending on the duty cycle. Is it clear?
Yes.
Did I explain this last lecture?
No.
Okay. So a transistor, it will not turn on until VBE is positive, صح?
Yeah.
Once it's positive, it will conduct current through a load, so V output equal to Vs. So as long as there is a gate pulse, VBE, I have Vs. If I change the pulse على VBE, بيتغير الأوتبوت. Why I have a diode here? This is for protection. This is for what? Protection, to allow the current to go, okay? To protect the load from the sudden drop of the gate. When this transistor immediately turn on and off, you need a path so that it can discharge depending on the load. Clear?
صدق اتجاهه معكوس.
لا الدايد هذا is from top to bottom. If VBE is 0, this will be open circuit. This diode will be open circuit. If this diode is open circuit, the load cannot be hanging. You have to have a load so that the current will go anti-parallel diode for protection. So the DC component here is delta Vs. The original DC is Vs. So this is DC to DC converter. Clear? Is clear?
What is the uses of DC-DC converter? Unlike the others, you can understand that.
For example, laptop power supply. There is some circuits that you need to bring it DC from 12 to 1 volt, or a half volt.
12 volt.
12 or 5 volt to 1 or 0.5 volt.
هذا قصدك جوة
جوة اللابتوب or TV or an EV charging, an EV car. there is some smaller voltage for the lights because the EV car has volt very high, 800 volt. The other application is DC to AC. What will happen here? Half of the cycle I have VG1, VG2 is 1. So this is VG1, this is VG2. So M1 and M2 are on. So what will happen? I conduct current through M1 and M2. نفس البريدج ده. So M1 and M2, half of the time cycle they will conduct. The other half of the cycle I apply VG3, VG4. So here we conduct. So what is V output? Plus minus V output equal to Vs. V output equal to Vs. The other half of the cycle I have M3 and M4 on. M3, M4 on. So the current will go through M3, but V output is negative positive, so V output equal to minus Vs. So V output equal to minus Vs. These are protection diode, anti-parallel diode for protection. So what will happen? This Vs, which is DC constant, has become the output a pulse, positive, negative. What is this signal? This signal is sinusoid with all the harmonics, صح ولا لا? 207. If you add omega t, 2 omega t, 3 omega t, all the way into infinity omega of t, you get a perfect rectangular signal, AC. So how to get sinusoidal? Just apply to low pass filter. When you apply to low pass filter, you get what?
One harmonic.
One sinusoidal, and then you get the AC signal. Clear?
Yes.
Is the AC to AC, DC to AC inverter or converter work? The concept is clear?
Yeah.
Who doesn't understand?
دكتور عادي على طول من السكوير هذا نحولها للساين ويف
Yes.
باللو باس
Yes.
ولازم قبلها يكون في انتجريتر.
Well, these are details depending on your design, fee specification. But if you apply to low pass filter, we all know that. But what's the problem? You have losses. Maybe you add it. This is 370. Okay? Or 315 or 207. So what does it mean? It means for a power electronic system, we have input power. In this example, what is the input power? Supply. صح? Supply is an input. Then I have power converter, which is this structure, this circuit. And I have output power. What is my output power? It's V output, صح? And I have loop with a controller with control signal. Where is the controller signal? These two pulses. على الجيتس حقات الموسفيت هذا الكنترول. So I have 380, 360, 303. Clear? So this block diagram and input power is DC. The input power is DC. The power converter is the circuit itself, and the output power is this V output pulse, the rectangular shape. And I have control signal with reference and commands, etc. These ones. The thyristor, what is my input? The AC supply. What is my power converter? Is this circuit. What is my controller? Is a thyristor firing circuit. What is my output? Is the voltage across this resistor. Clear?
Yes.
Clear? 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 Not clear? Clear? Not clear? 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 Not clear? Clear? Not clear? Not clear? Clear? So for those not clear, which part is not clear exactly? The mapping,
السيركت نفسها.
أي circuit, thyristor,
إذا تعرف عنها شوي.
هذه.
هي هذا.
Let me explain it one more time. هذه السيركت كم MOSFET فيها؟ 4. Half the first half cycle I apply 1 volt على VG1 VG2. VG1 VG2 معناته ان M1 و M2 on, M3 و M4 off. If M1 هنا DC I apply, M1 يوصل current يروح على اللود يروح على M2 يرجع للسبلاي. معناته what is V output plus minus هذا يصير شورت سيركت هذا يصير شورت سيركت البوزيتيف مع البوزيتيف والسالب مع السالب V output equal to V supply. V output equal to V supply. Between T over 2 and T I apply 1 volt على VG3 و VG4. معناته أن M3 will conduct بعدين على اللود بعدين M4 بعدين جاء السبلاي. What is the V output? Negative, positive. النيجاتيف حق V output هذا يصير شورت سيركت is مع البوزيتيف حق السبلاي. فمعناته V output is minus Vs.
طيب بس في نيجاتيف برا من الطرفين.
أي نيجاتيف؟
تحت ال VG3.
هذا
اوكي.
هذا حق ال VG3.
اوكي.
Okay? This is how this circuit works.
انت هنا اسيوم انه الترانزستور لما يشتغل يصير شورت سيركت صح؟
Yes. ترانزستور لما يشتغل يصير شورت سيركت زي الدايت ايديال. ما في VCE. This circuit is simpler. As long as I have a positive pulse, it will conduct V output is Vs. If I don't have a pulse, V output is 0. This circuit, a triac, positive gate, allow a positive signal to pass. Negative gate pulse, allow a negative signal to pass. فتشوفين ان negative signal didn't pass until I sent the fire على الجيت triac. Yes.
كل بلس ياخذ هاف سايكل.
One pulse is enough. One pulse per cycle, per half cycle. واحدة للبوزيتيف pulse واحدة للنيجاتيف. بس هنا حطها مظللة عشان يبين لك إنه shaded pulse هذا pulse. الشيدد وهذا non shaded. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
Clear يا براء؟ Clear? 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 So if I ask you in the test, what is the power input? You say supply. What is the power converter? This circuit. What is the output power? اللي على اللود. What is the control signal? اللي على الجيت حق الموسفيت.
يصلح اقول موسفيتس بالكنترول يعني؟
ما في شيء كامل 100%. So control is required. Power converter along with its controller, including corresponding measurements and interface circuit, also called, this is called power electronic system. What are the devices that we use? We use resistor, we use capacitor, we use ideal transformer, we use inductor, we use transistors, we use MOSFETs, we use firing circuits. This is duty cycle pulses. This is a switched mode, or linear mode. Why it's important? Because there is increasing applications of power electronic equipment in power. Like, because of the availability of high power semiconductor, we have decentralized renewable energy, solar cells everywhere. We have increased power transmission line, we want to load them more. We have effective control needed for deregulated environment اللي هي smart grid. With norms of power quality, we want to improve the power factor. Futuristic power grid will have control center, solar plant, central plant, combined heat power, wind plant, micro turbines for small turbines يعني for hospital and commercial. زي في برج بعض الأبراج يحطون wind. بعض التاورز. I think البحرين عندهم برج فيه له 2 wind. I think. مرفأ البحرين المالي. I think so. Fuel cells, battery storage, smart houses, etc. So we have distributed generation. We have renewable everywhere. We have fuel cells. We have battery storage, superconducting, flywheels. We have uninterruptible power supply. What is an uninterruptible power supply? It is always there, guaranteed, no matter what happens. For data centers and hospitals, critical facilities.
Backup generators.
Hmm?
Backup generators.
No, it's a system. It includes DC sources. It supplies. And the moment the power in the building goes off, the UPS kicks in. Backup power system with batteries. And you don't need generators.
اللي في البحرين فيه 3
ثلاثة. Power electronic loads, we have adjustable speed drives to improve power quality, dual feeders, dynamic voltage restorers, we want to restore the voltage. TND, what is TND? Transmission and distribution. We have high voltage DC or medium voltage DC. We have flexible AC transmission system, FACTS. نظم القوى المرنة. There is a lab downstairs, it's called FACTS lab. You see 361 lab?
Yes.
In front of it, power protection. Next to it is FACTS. Okay? Flexible AC system, معناها flexible, مرنة. They adjust with the power. You either add shunt or series compensation, and there is a unified power flow control. Just know these terminologies. You don't have to understand them 100%. Unified power flow controller. It's a controller that is unified عشان يتحكم بالpower through lines from point A to point B. Some of the application is adjustable speed drives. Let's say we have a motor. I added power electronics with a utility to rectify a signal and control it. So I control the AC signal to control the speed of the motor. Either I change the frequency or I change the voltage. Clear? What is inside is we have rectifier diode, we have controller, we have switched mode, we have يعني ايش؟ we have MOSFETs. MOSFETs M1, M3 on, M2, M4 off, وهكذا. Clear about an adjustable speed drive? We adjust the speed. Drive, this is called the drive of the motor. We adjust the speed of the drive, we adjust this motor speed. The other application is transmission and distribution. FACTS, do you remember this power equation? It was, I think, EA times VT. We can generalize it, but we all know that if I change the impedance X, if I make it smaller, the maximum power will be larger. صح ولا لا?
Yes.
So I add series, either capacitor or inductor. These are thyristors. We add the series compensation to adjust the torque angle of the synchronous generator. So I can transfer more power. Or if I have a transmission line, I add shunt converters, series converters, switched mode, to change the nature of the pi model of my system. Do you remember a pi model? With T model?
Yes.
And they are a function of Z and Y, صح?
Yes.
So if I add components in series or parallel, I can change in the model حق line, then I can change the power flow. So what types of fabs? We have shunt, we have series. Series, it means you add them along the line. Shunt, it means in parallel with the line. Here we have capacitor. Here we have MOSFET. The other application is the PVs, the photovoltaic. Let's say we have diesel generator or gas. We supply the AC bus system to the load. This is traditional, صح?
Yes.
Now we add a PV. We change the volt maybe from 5 to 100 volt DC, DC to DC converter. We have a DC bus. We charge the battery. We also get the power from the battery. And this is bidirectional inverter from DC to AC. Why? Because I can even use a diesel generator to charge the battery, صح? So the nature of bidirectional. You missed the lecture. You missed the lecture. So you have to rewatch the lecture. Clear? So bidirectional inverter means bidirectional power flow. We need to have triac, we need to have... What is inside these boxes is an E460. Now we give you the overview. Okay? But this is how the system looks like. The other application is a laptop computer power supply system. We apply AC على الcharger. Let's say this is the battery of your laptop. This is the battery of your laptop. We charge it using pulse width modulator rectifier. The input is 85 to 65 volt. Here we have lithium battery at the laptop. The lithium battery, I have inverters to convert it to AC عشان display monitor. صح ولا monitor AC ولا DC حق اللابتوب؟ AC. Or buck converter. Buck can I reduce the DC low to microprocessor level. Or boost the hard disk drive. I need high DC. Because in the hard disk,
تحتاج higher DC.
not the SSD. hard disk drive العادي اللي فيه spinner.
تكون سنة غلط بس ما
It has a motor. It's DC motor. But anyway, this is يعني for old laptops. ولا ال PC الهارد ديسك مش ال SSD. SSD solid state different. You have to get measurements all the way to your charger. If the laptop charge drops, charger will go charge the battery. If the battery is full, no need to get power, the battery will stick. Clear? The other application is the electric vehicle. We have a 3-phase, we have battery charger, we charge the battery حقت the vehicle. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 inverter to convert to AC. to drive an AC machine, induction motor. Also, I have DC to DC converter for low voltage DC for a microprocessor with controller, also for vehicle electronics. I also have control signals sending commands to the inverter to control the speed of the machine. Induction motor حق سيارة كهربائية. Also, I feed back a signal على charger if the battery needs more power. The other application is hybrid vehicles where we combine the gas engine or braking مع electric. But here I have primary electric systems has lots of power electronics. Electric cars offer high performance but low range. And hybrid cars, they combine both strategies of electric with mechanical fuel to gain more range. The range حقت الهايبريد is more than the range حقت البيور electric. Both of them, they have inverters and DC converters. Okay? I showed you why we have inverters for an induction motor. Why we have DC to DC converter? For a control. Will power, will electronics system. Electric system حق اللمبات والشاشة وغيره. For space technology, we have a spaceship, for rockets, for satellites, for Mars vehicles. We need uninterruptible power supply. We don't have grid in the space. We have DC modules, we convert it to AC. If we need movement, convert it back to DC. Okay? The satellite is purely electric. Yeah, I know they put them in a region where they orbit by themselves, but they still need to send signals back to the Earth. One of the trends is that 60% of the power consumed goes through some kind of power electronics, which gets more. يعني they either have to go على inverter or a converter or whatever. Because of the improved performance of the power supply with control, we also have energy saving, we have environmental protection to reduce the fossil fuel. The other concept is heat removal mechanism. We use heat sinks like this shape so that the heat dissipates through it, so that when we have a power converter, we see always the heat sinks, they take a size. Okay, these are two types of technologies. Silicon control rectifier, stat type. That's another shape. What are the ratings of the power electronics? You can see rated for a power diode. I'm going to take one example, power diode. The voltage is 4,000, 6,000, 600, 2,800. The upper frequency 1 kilohertz, 20 kilohertz. Switching time 50 micro to 5 micro to even 0.2 micro for very high frequency. In on-state resistance, you can replace it with, the power diode, you can replace it with 0.32 milliohm. We have a power diode, we have power transistor, we have thyristor or silicon control rectifier. These are the devices. So how to design power electronics? They are designed based on a switching, اللي هو control. Switching, pulses, gates, وكذا. This is fundamental. This action of converters introduce current and voltage harmonics. Because of this switching, we introduced harmonics, اللي هي sine, omega t, 2 omega t, 3 omega t, etc. Or maybe 60 hertz, 120, 180, etc. These harmonics, they go into supply system or the output of the converter. They go into the synchronous generator, they go into the motor, they make vibration. They also destroy the output voltage, it doesn't become smooth. with supply voltage. They overlap with the communication, and they reduce the input power factor. So the following methods can be used to solve or reduce harmonic problems. This is very important. Use of the input with output filters. You should pick the right control strategy, the one that minimizes the harmonics, or grounded shielding. العزل الأرضي. These are three simple solutions to reduce these harmonics that go into your grid. So are harmonics good or bad? Bad. Why they are bad? They vibrate the generator, they vibrate the motor, they improve the quality of the voltage, they destroy power factor. How to get rid of them? Use filters, use better control strategies, and ground shield. So in summary, power electronics uses low power electronics, control, switching power devices, 4 power inverters or converters for processing from one unit to another. And the features of power devices play a major role in speed and effectiveness of the power conversion. How fast you're switching, firing angle. So hopefully this module will give you enough understanding about the power electronics. Power converters. What are the questions we ask? Rectifier. We ask a numerical question and rectifier. That's it. Any other question?
Harmonic track is a combination of filters, correct?
Yes. They capture certain harmonics in the line. And it's one of the applications of power.
Don't you want to block most of them?
Well, you want to block anything that keeps sinusoidal. So all frequencies are bad. Usually odd harmonics are worse. And even harmonics, they are eliminated by 3-phase. But in odd harmonics, they are not eliminated by 3-phase. And you need circuits to remove them. Any other question about the power electronics? Is it clear now? So next lecture we will probably have some examples and slightly help session, okay? We will not have help session. But attendance will be taken.
You have the final exam on Sunday.
Saturday.
لا لا I have another final exam also.
بكرة؟
Sunday.
الأحد عفوا هذا عندك فاينل يوم
Yeah.
طبعا.
Yes.
But there is course. هذا اليوم الوطني.
في اسلام يا عمر.
ايه العرب
مواد
يكون قبل الاختبارات.
ولا هم في الليل. محاضرة الصبح. You don't have to come. If you have absences, you can be absent. Private.
Are you going to update slides with the exams?
I don't know. Maybe I also have them on board. YouTube. Okay?